Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a different video this week instead of our weekly vlog. I wanted to talk about a little fitness update and how my goals have been looking lately, okay? So if you have followed my channel for a little bit, you've seen my fitness video of I think it was 5 or 6 weeks where I was posting realistically what it looks like to start hitting your goals and trying to work out and trying to lose weight. So there's that on my channel. Here's the update almost or over a year later, I think now. Yeah. So here's the update. I've lost 30 pounds, but it didn't take me a whole year to lose 30 pounds. It only took me 9 months. So realistically, this is what I've learned from actually my 5-year start of trying to lose weight. And in the beginning, I didn't have 60 pounds that I had to lose, but I kept gaining weight, trying to figure out how to lose the weight. So, heaviest I was a year ago was 195 pounds. Now I'm in the 160s, and I don't know that for sure because I don't have a scale at home, but I do have a measuring tape, and I weigh myself maybe once a month at the gym. Yeah, so it's about 30 pounds now. So this is what I did in these last 9 months that actually got me to this point of losing 30 pounds. Okay, ready? So, I completely changed the way that I think about food, how much food I'm eating, the amount, the health and quality of the food I'm eating, and when I eat it. And those are the main things. So, before I moved to Greece, I was following this Macro Habits girl. It's actually, her page is called Macro Habits. And I was working with Hannah Pointer, who was helping me with my macro intake. I was eating 155 grams of protein, and that's a lot of protein, okay? But I was moving a lot in my day at my job, and I was going to cycling classes, and I was working out and lifting weights in the morning. So when we talked about my macro intake, that's what I needed at the time, but I actually gained weight after that. And so I was telling her, I was I gained weight. What's going on? I want to lose weight. And I also just felt really sluggish and heavy with all the meat, but I was told, and so many people on social media were saying, protein is king. You have to eat the protein. So I was okay, protein is it. I have to stick with it. But I felt horrible. And so I was taking digestive enzymes just to feel like my body could even digest all this food. I was eating so much, okay? I was not hungry, but I was eating. Doesn't make sense now. So I moved to Greece. And I got the opportunity to eat with Mike at his school cafeteria. So it's a bunch of Greek home-style cooking that a lot of these mother, your mom is making you Greek food, essentially, Greek moms. So I'm eating this food, and I was man, I don't have any control over my protein intake. I don't have any control over what I'm eating. I just have to show up and eat and leave. And so what's the point of even tracking my macros if I can't control what I'm eating? So I just kind of gave up with it. I was it is what it is. I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna learn new things and change my mindset in other ways. And so I was trying to just focus on moving more. So I was walking around for the first 2 months. I didn't have a bike, so I was walking everywhere. So I upped my total daily expenditure burn ratio through that, and then I got a bike, and I was able to go around town to further places. I started going to the park here and walking at the park, and I just didn't think about my diet as much because I couldn't control it. But the diet did consist of a lot of carbs, so I was kind of okay, where's the protein? The main protein source was in the beans that were served, but other than that, it was potatoes, rice, veggies, bean soup. I was having beans twice a day because that's how often I was going to this cafeteria. So that was another thing. I was eating twice a day instead of 3 times a day. So that changed. But I noticed that as I upped my fiber intake and the carbs, I felt better. My body didn't have to try so hard to digest all the meat I was getting because I was getting my protein from my protein shakes, my powders, and meat, and that just takes forever for your body to go through. So because I was upping my fiber, my carbs, and lowering my protein, my body just kind of settled. And obviously if you're pooping, you're losing weight, so upping your fiber definitely does that. So I started to feel better and started to realize that maybe my fiber is more important than my protein. which took kind of a while for my brain to get used to because like protein is king in the US. Like everyone talks about protein everything. And I was like, sure, it's great and you need it, but like I don't need that much apparently. So those two things were kind of what kicked off losing weight. But I should say this next part, listen, these are my experiences and I'm not a nutritionist. Don't follow, like I'm not telling you to do what I did, okay? I'm just sharing my experience. But the first like 5 months, I also was out drinking a lot with friends, okay? And so because I was so much bigger and my alcohol tolerance was just higher because of my body composition, and then like eating and everything, I was not a cheap date. So I would eat lunch, right? And then if I knew I was going out to drink with friends later, I would eat maybe a small dinner or skip dinner and just go straight to drinking wine because I didn't want to have to buy more wine in order to like feel the effects of it. So that's why I'm saying this is really bad. Like I don't recommend this, and I don't do this anymore either. But like, so I noticed that my pants started getting really baggy on me, and I was like, wait, hold up. All I had to do was start walking and go drinking. Like that's what I thought. I was like, that's all I had to do to like lose this weight. Like why didn't I do this sooner? Anyway, there's more to it though. I think just the lifestyle here, being able to have a walkable city, accessible city where, you know, I think walking on a treadmill is a lot different than walking on the ground because your legs have to move more when you're walking on the ground. And then the treadmill is doing most of the work for you. So that's really, I think, the game changer for me was walking everywhere. I didn't do a whole lot of weightlifting or other workouts. For a few months I was doing jiu-jitsu, and this kind of leads into my mindset shift I want to talk about. So when I first moved here, I really wanted to challenge myself to do things that were really uncomfortable for me. And like not seek comfort. I wanted to seek things that were really uncomfortable and just give myself the mental challenge. So when jiu-jitsu came up for Mike and Mike started going to jiu-jitsu, I thought I'll just go watch and see what this is about. And then I looked at the warm-up exercises and thought that looks kind of fun. So I want to try it. And so I tried it and it was really hard. It's really out of my comfort zone. I don't like touching people. I don't like being sweaty. I don't like being on the floor. Like there's a lot of aspects to jiu-jitsu that I don't like. But I thought, hey, like this is what I've been looking for. This is so uncomfortable for me mentally to deal with. I should do this. And so I decided to do it. I signed up and it was something that got me out of the house in the cold winter months when I didn't want to move. I was like, no, I'm gonna go see my friends. I'm gonna go be social. I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu. And while jiu-jitsu is a great workout in itself because you're sweating, you're using your muscles and everything, because I was so afraid of getting hurt, I wasn't like putting all of my effort and energy into it. So I don't want to say that it was like the thing that made me get stronger and lose weight. It just kind of added to the overall like daily expenditure of energy. With that being said though, about me wanting to change my mindset, I think that helped prime me for my next phase in losing weight. And this was an intermittent fasting. So because I was wanting to drink and not pay so much to get tipsy and whatnot, I kind of was like accidentally intermittent fasting. So I noticed this and I was like, I'm still losing weight. My metabolism hasn't slowed down. Like I'm eating way less than maybe what I'm supposed to, but like I'm fine. I'm going to jiu-jitsu. I'm still able to perform and have the strength to like wrestle with these guys. So like, where is the slowed down metabolism that everyone's talking about? So then I got to thinking and I started reading up on articles, and what really kicked off my intermittent fasting phase of my life so far has been the anti-cancer benefits of fasting when you fast for longer than like 17 hours. So I found Dr. Mindy Pell's on YouTube, and she talks about how women should be fasting for their hormonal health because women have to do it differently than men. And so I figured out what she was saying and basically figured out, okay, I need to do my long-term fasting goals during this part of my cycle. So for me, I found that the best like long-term hours for me is like 24 hours is my comfortable zone, but I have done a 48-hour. And so that's been like my nature's Ozempic, I will say, because I'm getting all the same benefits of people who are like on Ozempic. I'm getting insulin sensitivity, and I notice this when I eat carbs after a fast. I get nauseous a lot. Like a lot of people on Ozempic get really nauseous. So I was like, okay, I don't even know how the science necessarily works, but I've noticed that after a super long fast, I need to like really focus on my fiber and like ease into it, you know. I also start like something else that I was doing as well while I would be doing my fasts is I started watching people's TikTok videos of people who were on Ozempic and seeing how much they were eating, because portion control is not my strong suit. I've always been a big foodie. Like I love food, and when people say like, oh, listen to your body, like you know when to stop, that I couldn't stop because my body didn't have that on and off switch of when I should stop eating, because I just wasn't born with it. So for me, I would watch and see how much people were eating on Ozempic, and I would try to just aim for that. Or with fasting as well, like after having a super long fast, I noticed that I would get full really fast, and I would naturally eat the amount that someone who was on Ozempic was eating. So I thought, I wonder if fasting is nature's Ozempic. So I kept watching those videos, which led me to like skinny talk. And I know like I should say like trigger warning. I've never suffered from an ED before, an eating disorder. I've never had that problem because I've always just been a really big foodie and I would never restrict. So for me, being on skinny TikTok is not a triggering thing because I don't relate or have those emotional feelings of like, I should not eat ever, because I'm the opposite person. So for me, it actually was really helpful to see some perspectives on how to lose weight from people who are on Skinny Talk. One of them being Liv Schmidt, and she helped me refrain a lot of my thoughts around food as well. Especially as a foodie, like I was able to combine these thoughts by thinking like, why am I finishing my plate if I'm not enjoying it? You know, like I would finish my plate because you shouldn't waste food, number one, and you should finish what's on your plate. But then I was like, I could save it and have it later if I'm hungry. So I started doing that. I started sharing more of my food, whereas like growing up, it was really hard for me to share food. But that's a whole other topic of discussion. So she says like sharing is sexy. You should share with like your boyfriend, share with your friends. Like sharing food is really sexy. And I was like, oh, okay, let's just switch that mindset up. And so I was telling my parents when I visited them, I was like, oh, I'll share with you. It's super, like, it's sexy to share. Let's just share this plate of nachos, you know? So I started switching my mind from thinking food is everything and food is my emotional like comfort to like, I want to enjoy my food and I want to enjoy every bite that I take, and if I'm not enjoying it anymore and I'm just eating it because it's there, I'm gonna stop and save it for later. So like this week, I ordered a slice of cheesecake and I was eating it, and then halfway through I realized I'm not really enjoying it like I was the first 4 bites, and I'm kind of getting full. And so I'm gonna put this in the freezer and save it for later. And then like 3 hours later, I was like, you know, I want some cheesecake again. And so then I finished it and it was fine. So I was like, okay, that's really helped me, is realizing that being like not finishing your food doesn't mean you have to waste it. You can just save it for another time, and then you're actually saving money because you're just extending that meal into other meals. So it actually really helped my like financial food brain, you know, when you're like, oh my gosh, we're in a recession, I have to save and not waste food, and cool, I'll just extend my meal to like 2 times. So Skinny Talk has really helped me in many ways, but I know it can be triggering for other people who have dealt with eating disorders. And so that's why I'm like, okay, I wouldn't recommend like maybe going out and seeking it if you struggle with that, but I personally didn't. So I used that as a tool, and I took what I wanted from it and, you know, left other things. Like I think Liv Schmidt's great, but she also did a lot of things that are too extreme for me. So the combination of all these things has really, really helped me. Like fasting, I think, is actually like the best way to go for me, and it's the most sustainable for me because I like counting calories in an app for every single thing I was eating in the day. when I was doing my macro counting was really hard because I found myself thinking all day about my food and how like, oh, I need to go track my food. And so then I'm thinking about like, oh my gosh, my lunch, I have this much Greek yogurt, this much ground up turkey. And so I was always thinking about food, and now it's been so nice to just forget about food. And then as soon as I'm hungry, like I don't wait and anticipate hunger, I wait until I feel hungry, and then I'm like, oh, I should think about getting something to eat soon. So intermittent fasting, obviously you're gonna be so hungry during the long 24-hour fasts, but because it's more about mental discipline than anything else, I've become like friends with hunger. Essentially, like it's not a good feeling still, but I'm used to it. I've become more mentally capable of handling the feeling of hunger, knowing that it's not forever and that I will have food and it's okay. It's kind of like relieving the stress around the feeling of hunger, and knowing that like when I do break this fast I'm going to have, I really appreciate the healthy foods. Like I start to crave bean soup. When I'm fasting, I'm like, I can't wait to have some bean soup. That sounds so good right now. So I started to crave healthier food as well. So all around, like intermittent fasting has been the most helpful thing for me in my weight loss journey, but it's also helped me be more mindful, knowing like, oh, I can feel my hunger signal of like when I'm full, whereas before I could not feel that. So that's been like the biggest change for me in general. So I also have this app, so instead of counting calories, I started counting my fasting times, and so I've switched that. So I use this app called Zero, and I'll actually just upload a video to show you guys, but right now I'm doing a fasting challenge of doing 70 fasts within 90 days of at least 13 hours. So I think I have 9 days left, but this app has been really helpful because it's getting me in the habit of just fasting every single day. So, and 13 hours is not that hard. Like if you stop eating at 9 p.m. the night before, you can eat at 10 a.m. the next day. So it's like fasting does not have to be super, super crazy. And I just love that I have this app that kind of gives me the same like satisfaction of seeing things crossed off and like the green check mark. But it's also something I just forget about. Like I don't have to keep adding how I'm feeling in my fast, or how, you know, with like counting calories, I don't have to keep adding all these things that I'm eating, and if I forget, I feel bad I forgot. No, like fasting is the opposite. If you forget about something, great, because you like forgot to go eat for breakfast, great, because you're still fasting and you're still giving your body the great metabolic reset and health that it's getting. You know, like fasting is great for autophagy and so many. Yeah, fasting is really, really great for cancer fighting and like just detoxing in general. Like your body doesn't need anything other than fasting to detox. So that's been the most beneficial experience for me, and it's great. It's like great mental discipline practice as well, because I am such a foodie. So that is how I've lost 30 pounds in 9 months. I'm gonna keep going with it, and maybe I'll come back and at the end of the year I'll be at my goal weight. We'll see. So anyway, again, to reiterate and summarize, I'm not certified in anything. This is just my experience. This has been what's been most sustainable to me, and I'm not giving advice to anyone saying that they should follow exactly what I did. I just wanted to give a different perspective and share my experience of how I was finally able to lose this much weight after 5 years of trying and different solutions and everything, because I've tried so many things, and this is essentially what's been the best for me. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to my experiences, and I'll see you next time.